Hey guys, so welcome to another video of grilling steak in your kitchen. And this is if the weather isn't great and you want to cook something inside and you don't basically want to fire up the grill and you just want to do something straightforward. This is a really simple recipe that shouldn't take too long and will provide a steak that will taste like it was made in heaven. So let's get started. And there's a few ingredients here that I want you to pay close attention to, because these ingredients are the ones that are going to give you that balanced and really exquisite taste. Number one is your mustard. Now this is dried mustard seeds, as you can see them. And I'm going to put a small amount. I'm going to put like just a handful of them, not many. We're not going to use a lot, but we're going to use them. Then I've got my marine salt, as always. I've got dried chimichurri, so basic sweet pepper, oregano, and a few other spices that have just been dried. So we're going to be using that. And then we've got some fresh thyme, and here we have got some fresh rosemary. And of course, we've got garlic and we've got butter. So step number one is make sure your steak, this is a New York strip, make sure your steak is at room temperature. Don't go ahead and put your steak on the grill when it is still cold. The second thing that you're going to do is you're going to take some olive oil and you're going to massage it into both sides. Then before you put it on the grill, I want you to salt it lightly and then put it onto the grill, and make sure that your pan is pretty hot when you put it on, okay? I want you to sear it on both sides, and then we're going to add in our garlic, our butter, and the rest of the spices. Okay, so I've put it in the pan and I'm gonna give it around 3 to 4 minutes on the first side. And the goal is really to sear it at a pretty good temperature on both sides before you put in your garlic and the rest of your spices. Okay, so the steak has been on now for around 3 or 4 minutes on one side, and I've prepared here the spices. You can see these mustard seeds. I've just got a few. I've got my chimichurri, dried chimichurri. I've got my fresh thyme. I've got my garlic. I've got my butter, and I've of course got my fresh rosemary. Okay, guys, so it's time to send these over. And what I do is I turn them over, and I sift it on the flat side vertically for a few minutes, maybe for a minute or a minute and a half. You're gonna send you into this one. Remaining done. Oh, send it around. Oh shit. There you go. So now we're done. We're gonna put in our butter sauce, and then we're gonna add in our spices, our garlic, and our fresh rosemary. Okay guys, so as you can see there, I've added in the butter, I've added in the dried chimichurri, I've added in the garlic and the mustard seeds, and lastly, of course, we have our fresh rosemary. So we're going to let that sit now for around 3 to 4 minutes, and then we're going to take it off and let it rest. So one of the most not spoken about things about grilling steak, which not many people talk about, is the temperature of the meat before you put it on the grill or before you put it in the pan. Make sure that your steak is at room temperature for at least 1 hour before putting it on the pan or in the grill. Okay guys, so you've probably seen this done before, but you can take the cube, which actually isn't that easy to do. And actually put it on top of your steak. Whoa. And this juice is absolutely amazing because you've got all of those spices, the mustard, the fresh rosemary, the thyme, the garlic. And you're just going to let it now sit for another minute or two. Then I'm going to take it off, and then we're going to leave it and let it rest for another 2 or 3 minutes before we serve it. Okay guys, so it's been on here now for around 4 minutes on that side, so I'm going to take it off. As you can see, this juice is coming through. By the way, this is not blood. When you see this, people say, oh, it's blood. It is not. It is juices that are rising through because obviously the heat is pushing them through the fibers. Now I'm going to take this off. This is a really good sign, and you can see if I pull this off, it should be able to see there's juice running through there. I'm going to pull this off, and we're going to let it sit for around 2 to 3 minutes. Okay guys, as you can see, I have taken it off and I'm gonna now wait for around 2 to 3 minutes and let it sit properly before I cut it up and serve it. So I've got a lot of this garlic and thyme and rosemary that's left over in the pan. You're probably say, what do you do with this? Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna, once I've sliced up the meat, I'm gonna give it a little more salt, and then I'm gonna put this on top. Okay guys, so it's been resting now for around 3 or 4 minutes, and I'm gonna slice it up. And then when I sliced it up, I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a pinch of salt, and then we're gonna put the garlic that was cooked in the fat from the meat and that butter on top. So here it goes. It vertically across the grain as much as possible. Sometimes when you get your cut of meat, it won't always be directly proportionate to the size of meat or the type of meat. The grain can go all different ways. So it's important that when you do your grilling, that you really observe which direction the grain meat is going. So I'm just going to add a little bit more pinch of salt, and then I am going to try it. Okay. I think it's looking pretty good. Okay guys, so I've served up the steak, and as you can see, the color is just perfect.